Good day. This is Lateesha with Soul Spread Wisdom, and I am here with the full moon in Pisces report. This full moon will be happening September 2nd at 12:22 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm recording this as a podcast as opposed to a video recording today, but I still have fresh bread for us. I've chosen to present the information as a form of a podcast, just because I've been traveling. I've had my grandchildren with me. And so it was just a little difficult for me to set up the video recording tools that I need. So let's jump into this full moon report. I'm going to record all 12 signs. I have a recording on my YouTube channel, Soul Spread Wisdom, that I recorded last Wednesday. It was a live program, and I just went through a particular chart discussing how this full moon would be affecting one of my subscribers. And I plan to be live again at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, just talking about the week ahead and just checking in so that we can chat with each other and just see how we are handling all that is happening in the sky, and just be a support for each other. You know, when I went live, I noticed that so many people who were responding were all Leo risings, as I am too. And there's a lot of 12th house energy that shows up where people just really want to connect. So that is what I am trying to provide for us with the live astrology, midweek check-ins on Wednesday. So I would love it if you would join with me on that. Join with us as we chat. Also, if you would, this is going to be posted on YouTube. If you would like, subscribe and share, that would be absolutely awesome. It would really help my channel, really help me, and I would really appreciate it. Also, leave a comment. I love to read your comments and to chat with you and just to know how you are doing and just share some of our astrological experiences that we have. It helps me, it helps the community and other people who read the comments. It can strengthen and help others. And that's what we are all about, bringing light to other people. So let's just talk about this moon and what is happening. I had a subscriber, Aces of Cups. And if you are listening to this, I want to make sure, because when we were on live, you shared that you have a Leo moon at 12 degrees of a Leo moon in your natal chart at 12 degrees. And we were talking about this particular aspect, this moon at 10 degrees. And I was saying that this is something that would be beneficial to you because it's going to be such a beautiful moon. But I want to be clear, as I thought about this after we got off of the live, with that moon that you have sitting at 12 degrees of Leo, Uranus is making a square to your moon, and it will be for quite some time. So for you, this is something that will not be as easy if you did not have the square coming into Uranus, into your natal moon. So that is going to bring some challenges for you while Uranus is at 10 degrees right now. And you will be feeling that, for a couple more years where Uranus will be challenging you to make some changes. As you said, you have the moon in the first house. And so I just wanted to make that clear. Even though there will be blessings coming to you from this moon, Uranus will be making challenges to your natal moon, okay, for the next few years, okay? So thank you for those who listened to that, but I wanted to make that clear to the subscriber who asked me about that in the chat. So this moon in the sign of Pisces is at 10 degrees, and the sun is at 10 degrees of Virgo. And this beautiful energy is making a trine to Uranus, which is at 10 degrees retrograde. So this is an opportunity for us to tap into the spiritual blessings of the moon. The moon loves being in the sign of Pisces. She's very peaceful there. It is feminine energy. It is ethereal energy, where the moon is able to tap into the psyche, come up with beautiful ideas as far as music is concerned. We know that people who have natal moons in Pisces are beautiful, artistic people. They are able to come up with some of the most beautiful and profound works of art. We're thinking Michael Jackson, for one. That's the number one person that pops into my mind who had a Virgo sun and a Pisces moon. We have that energy here. But also, the moon is making a sextile to Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus retrograde. So this is an opportunity for the brilliance of Uranus, the light, the lightning, surprising idea to come in if you work with the sextile energy and give you an opportunity to create something very beautiful, very healing, in an artistic way that can speak to people beyond words. It speaks beyond words. It speaks to people on a soul level. It speaks to people where it touches them in their spirit and brings them something that can last for a long time. Something that, those moments that you have in life where you heard something that transfixed you. You saw something that made you feel so deeply and see truth of a situation, and it changed you. This is this type of energy that is being brought into us here. And then the sun is making a beautiful trine. The sun at 10 degrees of Virgo is making a beautiful trine to Uranus in Taurus at 10 degrees retrograde. So Virgo sun is all about service, serving people in the natural realm, serving people, helping people fix this problem, helping serve people who are sick. It is the sign that is associated with nurses, and those who are in the service industry. They love to serve. The way that they show love is by serving other people. So with Uranus making a trine to this sun, this is a very easy energy that will bring a very grounded truth, light. The sun is bringing in light in this area of service. Uranus is bringing in a transformative light, because Uranus is going to bring in the light of truth, but it is a very easy light. It's not something that is shocking and painful and upsetting, but it is bringing in a light that brings in an easy change. It brings in information from beyond, from the spirit realm. It brings in light, perhaps of how health needs to be changed, how services need to be rendered, how we can serve humanity in a better way. And this being tied to the Pisces energy, we are able to tap in to the spirit realm, to the ethereal realm, and find a way in the spirit and bring that information into the mundane, into the natural, and make it work for serving other people, for healing our own bodies, for healing others. This is an opportunity for perhaps the brilliance on the mundane level, on the world level, someone being able to create a piece of machinery that can generate healthy foods, can generate perhaps a new pharmaceutical that could help on a mass level. This is something that could come in with this type of energy. At the same time, while all of this beauty is happening and all of this, harmonious energy is operating, we also have Mercury making a trine to Saturn and also to Pluto, and Jupiter is involved as well. Virgo is, Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo, meaning that while Mercury is in Virgo, this is a beautiful time where the mind is most analytical, thinking very clearly and able to see how to solve problems, how to come up with answers. And then it is being helped by Uranus making the trine to the sun, Mercury meeting up with Saturn in a trine in Capricorn. Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are in Capricorn. So this Mercury making this beautiful trine to the three big planets, the three big bosses there in Capricorn, is offering us an opportunity to come up with an idea that is solid, that is lasting, and that is also grounded. It is producing something that can bring a transformative power, Pluto, to us to transform our lives in a very positive way. Mercury making that trine to Saturn. Again, this Saturn causes us to have something that is stable and lasting. It's in it for the long term. So with Mercury making this trine to Saturn, we have an opportunity to come up with an idea and to speak in a way that would provide service to another or to ourselves, that would be lasting, that would be helpful for a long time, solving a problem analytically that would solve a problem, a very practical problem, a practical issue that we could be having. Again, with Mercury making this trine to Pluto, there's transformation involved, a beautiful transformation in the thoughts, in the way that we are thinking about perhaps how we have been serving others, how we've been taking care of our own health. If we have been overthinking or overly critical, Pluto, the Lord of death and transformation in the sign of Capricorn, gives us an opportunity to transform it and see beyond where we have been overly critical and bring the thoughts into a balance within the transformation so that we are able to use our thoughts to create something that will be beneficial, as opposed to being just overly critical and negative, as sometimes the Virgo energy can be. And then the trine that Mercury is having to Jupiter, it's giving an expansion to the ideas that are practical and transformative and that are meant to be here to stay. So this is a beautiful time for us to come up with those ideas that will serve us and serve humanity for the long term, that will be beneficial. But there is a challenging aspect that is happening, and that is Venus making an opposition at 25 degrees of Cancer to Saturn, which is retrograde at 25 degrees of Capricorn. So this could be a painful experience or some painful information or painful opposition that you could be having within your family, because we are talking about Cancer and Capricorn, and this is the family axis. This is the father and the mother. This is making this opposition. Pluto is in the mix as well. So Jupiter is there as well within the opposition. So, it could be sparring between mother and father. It could be sparring between mother and daughter regarding power and control, regarding who has the power, One person could be feeling blocked, as far as love is concerned. So there is a chance to revisit or to visit issues of feeling loved by mother or by the mother figure, or looking at how you received love as a child, and revisit and deal with the pain. Pluto is there to transform it. Pluto is there offering an opportunity to deal with the pain, to look at the darkness. So this is an opportunity to go back and look at some pain as it relates to love as it was in childhood and nurturing. And also today it could present a challenge. It could present a challenge as far as feeling loved from another, feeling coldness from another that you would expect to receive love from. So this is what is on the table. But if we take the energy, this challenging energy of Venus, making this opposition to Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter, if we take it and we work with the energy, as opposed to feeling the pain and falling apart, if we work with the energy in such a way that we look within, we look at the pain, find out how we can transform the pain, have those conversations that Mercury in Virgo, making a trine to Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, is offering us a practical way to sit down and talk about what happened and why it is that we feel this way, why we did not feel loved, and how we can heal Virgo, how we can heal this, the moon in Pisces, how we can go within on the spiritual level and meditate and tap in to spirit to see how we can heal what keeps coming up as far as this Venus Cancer, these issues that stem again from childhood and not feeling that we could express our love, that there was a block, Saturn, that we were blocked from sharing our love. And even today, if you are in a partnership, you could feel that you are blocked from sharing your love, blocked from receiving love, because we have this opposition to Saturn, and Saturn brings blocks. But if we use this gift of the trine to Mercury with these planets, we could have a conversation, a grounded conversation that could heal those wounds, that could meet us in the middle, where we meet in the middle with these oppositions and come to a balance, where we have the conversations where, we bring the truth to the table. Uranus in Taurus, we bring the truth to the table and look at what is really hurting and see how we can meet in the middle with an apology, or see how perhaps we misunderstood what was really going on, or what is going on with an off perception. Okay. So this is something that we can use these energies for. So let's take a look at Aries. So Aries, you will have this full moon in the sign of Pisces in your 12th house. So this full moon, the 12th house, Aries, has to do with the subconscious mind. It has to do with the spirit realm. It has to do with what you believe spiritually about God, about where you stand in the spirit realm, what you feel about yourself being a spirit being, perhaps having a human experience. You are a soul having this human experience. So this gives light to your 12th house, illuminating what it is your spiritual beliefs are in a beautiful way, because of the sextile to Uranus. So this is bringing in a very grounded light for you and helping you to understand how this full moon, in the light of the full moon, something coming to an ending as it relates to your subconscious mind, subconscious fears, and your sixth house, which is where the sun will be. And this has to do with your daily activities, your daily routine. So there is light coming in, and there was a way that you perhaps considered yourself and thought about yourself and your self-esteem, your self-worth, your value as it relates to the amount of money that you make. And with Uranus in your second house, there is a beautiful opportunity for transforming what it is that you feel that you should be earning. You know, you are getting some light in this situation to help you move yourself forward, help you see yourself as a more powerful being, having the ability to take action in your life that boosts your self-esteem, because you are getting an understanding of who you truly are, being that you are a spirit having a human experience, understanding your level of power in the actions that you take. So this is how the moon will be affecting you. So this is a great opportunity for you, Aries, to meditate. Write down what it is that you want to manifest. This is an opportunity for you to be able to create some new patterns, ending old patterns of actions that you take on a daily basis, routines that you go through on a daily basis, because you get a new insight and a new understanding of your self-worth. And then you are able to change your actions to match what it is that you feel about yourself, the understanding of who you truly are. Taurus, you will have this moon. The full moon will be in your 11th house of friends and groups and accolades. And the sun will be in your 5th house of children. So this is Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. So the sun will be in your 5th house of children. So at this time, you could have an illumination, because Uranus is in your sign. You could have an illumination about your group, the groups that you are part of, the people that you are teamed up with. You have an illumination about how they truly help you, about how they truly support you, because this is a supportive energy. Perhaps you did not see how well your groups of friends are really there for you. And then with this sextile to the full moon from Uranus, you're able to see clearly what it is that the relationship is a part of your team, your group, the church that you belong to, how it is very supportive and how it helps you along your journey. This may also suddenly bring you accolades. You may receive an award for the work that you've done. You may receive some form of celebration from within the group that you are a part of. As it relates to your children, because Uranus will be making this trine to the sun in your 5th house, surprisingly, your children may receive an award because of this axis to the 11th and 5th house. Your child may receive some sort of accolade, some sort of an award. If you own a business, you may find that there is a surprise reward, or a part of a group or someone that you are working with may bless your business because the fifth house has to do with your babies. It has to do with your business. If you've created a business or a hobby, or you may find that you may want to start a business. You've been doing a hobby. You've been sewing blankets. You've been crocheting, and then with Uranus making the trine to the fifth house, you may find that you have the aha idea to be able to start that business. Again, Mercury is making this trine to Capricorn for you. So this brings this opportunity for you to create something lasting during this time. Okay, so then we move on to Gemini. So Geminis, you will have this full moon in your 10th house, and you will have the sun in Virgo in your 4th house. So for you, this moon could be bringing a beautiful ending and light to your career. So you could see that perhaps if you had a female boss or manager, she may be leaving at this time, but it will be a nice move. It won't be painfully shocking necessarily, because Uranus is making a sextile to the moon. So it is a change that perhaps is shocking that you hear about it, but perhaps intuitively you could feel, because Uranus is there bringing light to you in your 12th house. It's something intuitively that you knew was coming. There was a change. You could feel a change coming, but it is supportive, because perhaps if this manager leaves, it could open up a door for you to be able to be promoted. It could happen in this way. In your 4th house, the sun is in Virgo in your 4th house, and Uranus is in your 12th house, making a trine to the sun in Virgo. So this is an opportunity for you to tap into the things of your home life. You know, the things that are going on ground level. Uranus being in your 12th house, again, is illuminating fears. It is illuminating and changing and undoing fears that you possibly could have had from your upbringing, things you were afraid of as it related to home. So Uranus is bringing light and independence in your spirituality and how you see yourself, in the trine that is making to the sun in Virgo is strengthening your ability to be able to detach from what it is that perhaps family and mother or your mother figure says that spirituality should be for you. And this is giving you a level of independence so that you can take your career to the next level, because we're talking about the 4th house and the 10th house axis with the sun and the moon. So this is something that will help you have a deeper understanding spiritually. Uranus in your 12th house, making a beautiful connection to the moon in your 10th and the sun in your 4th. Then 4, we have Cancer. So for you, the moon will be in your 9th house. Okay, Cancer. So you will have the moon in your 9th house, and you will have the sun in your 3rd house. So the full moon in Pisces is in your 9th house. The sun is in your 3rd house. So this will be affecting you as it relates to long distance travel, as it relates to higher education. So you could be completing your higher education if it is that you are working on a degree, or even a certification, because the 3rd house is highlighted. So that has to do with training that you could be taking if you are getting a certificate. The third house, the sun there, making the opposition to the moon. This could be any kind of a completion of training that you've been going through. If you've been going through any legal issues, this could be coming to a completion, a happy ending for you, getting some good news about the legal case. Because this moon has such a beautiful connection with Uranus that is transiting your 11th house right now. It could be a part of your network group, someone that surprisingly comes through for you as a part of the group, and they help you with something, some legalities that you could have had happening for you, some issues in that area. Or if you are in sales, third house, if you are taking part of sales or doing any kind of short distance travel, again, that group of people that could put you in contact with just the right person so that you are able to go ahead and get that sales pitch and make that sale, that huge sale, and it brings you accolades and recognition. We're talking about Uranus in your 11th house. So surprisingly, this thing comes through for you and you are able to receive the accolades that you've been looking for. Okay. Then when we move on to Leo, you will have the moon in your 8th house, and you will have the sun in your 2nd house. So this full moon in the 8th house could be bringing an ending, a beautiful ending, to an issue of resources. Uranus is in your 10th house of your career, your reputation in the world, making a sextile to the moon in Pisces in the 8th house. So this could be a change of your reputation. 8th house is occult. It is hidden things, even hidden organizations, hidden knowledge. So there could be some highlight that changes your reputation in the world as far as what it is that you are studying. If you are studying astrology, or if you are studying tarot, or anything that is occult, Uranus making this beautiful sextile to the new moon, the full moon, is giving an opposition for a transition from the old into the new. And this is something that would change your reputation. So something that you are understanding on the deepest levels. If it is not occult, it is something that you understand psychologically, deeply psychological, a deep psychological understanding of who you are, a deep psychological understanding of changes that need to happen, things that you need to transform, 8th house, things that need to be released and transformed. So these are some things that could be highlighted for you. And when they are highlighted, they change your perception of yourself and also how you present yourself to the world. And your reputation therefore changes, and the way that you feel about yourself and see yourself. 2nd house is where the sun is, where this light is in the sign of Virgo. So you have this knowledge and understanding of who you are that you have not had before, because of this beautiful trine that is happening from your 2nd house, the sun, to Uranus in your 10th house of your reputation in the world. And so this coming together with the moon is causing you to see deeply transformative things, something being able to be released psychologically, even some trauma being healed psychologically, that causes you to understand your true power, your true ability to serve others and serve yourself, and thereby healing yourself and having an ability to heal others. But it stems from that, the psychological purging, the deep psychological purging, 8th house, with the full moon coming in, that releases, that ends this cycle of understanding, and the light and the truth that comes in from the connection to Uranus. Okay, so then we go on to Virgo. So Virgo, the sun is in your sign, and we have the moon in your 7th house of others. So your relationships, you could have a relationship that is coming to an end because you have an understanding of what it is. And we're talking about a partnership, 7th house, a partnership, someone that you've had a deep connection with, someone that you have, perhaps you live with, if you are married, if you have a spouse, if you have a business partner. If you have a business partner, Uranus is in your 9th house and in the sign of Taurus, making a sextile to the moon in your 7th house. So this is bringing in much needed light and understanding, a deep understanding, which could be tied to religion. It could be tied to a legal matter. It could be tied to beliefs, religious beliefs. And Uranus coming in and meeting up with the full moon could help you understand some changes that need to happen within this partnership that you have. It could be some light. And wherever Uranus is, he's bringing independence in. So it could be that you thought that you needed this partner to have this business. And then Uranus comes in and you realize that you can have a sole proprietorship, that you don't need to have a corporation or incorporate with this other person, but you could do it alone. You could stand alone. You have the understanding, the knowledge of the legal system, 9th house, to be able to start this business, or have the clients, 7th house, have the clients alone. With this full moon, you may find that your type of clients that you have been seeing, they change. You are bringing in a different type of client, a client who has a higher understanding, a higher knowledge, a higher wisdom. And thereby, as you work with them, you come into a higher understanding. Because the sun is in your place of self, in your 1st house. So this is a type of change that could be coming in for you, Virgo. And then we go over to Libra. So for you, Libra, the moon will be in your 6th house. And the sun will be in your 12th house. So this moon could be bringing an ending to a coworker. If you have a coworker, maybe it could be a female coworker that is leaving at this time. But it is not a painful move or change that they are having, because Uranus is in your 8th house, making a sextile to the moon. So it could be that the person that is leaving, perhaps their husband, their spouse, is moving away, 8th house. So suddenly your co-worker needs to leave. Sixth house, your co-workers needs to leave because her spouse, eighth house, has received a job offer across country. So they have to leave. And but it's not something that is a terrible, it's something that is shockingly joyful. That could be the case for you. Also, you could hear some good news about your health. Something, health concern that you could have had that was in the dark and the doctors didn't know what was going on. Eighth house, Uranus comes in with the light to the moon and it illuminates the situation and brings an end to the confusion that was happening perhaps with your health concerns. The same with the pet. You could have had a pet that had some illness. You didn't know what it was. Or surprisingly, you get a new pet. That is something that could happen. You go from being a non-pet owner to being a pet owner with the full moon. Because the full moon brings an end of one cycle. And as it brings in an ending, it brings in the newness on the other side. As far as your 12th house is concerned, the sun is there illuminating fears and concerns about spirituality, where you have seen yourself spiritually. And this is being lit up. Of course, it's being lit up for you to be able to analyze what you have thought about spirituality and things that you have feared that go bump in the night and how it has affected your health. So with Uranus coming in and making this beautiful trine to the sun in your 12th house, it is highlighting these dark areas and bringing wisdom and knowledge and light and insight to these areas that help you heal mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. 8th house, 12th house, 6th house. Able to heal it on the deepest levels in the spirit realm and manifesting it in the natural. And then we go over to Scorpio. So Scorpio, you have the moon in your 5th house of children, entrepreneurship, standing across from your 11th house. The sun is standing across, and this is where the sun will be in the sign of Virgo, and this has to do with groups and networks that you are a part of, also accolades and awards that you receive. So for you, Scorpio, Uranus is standing in your 7th house of partnerships, making a sextile to the moon that is in your 5th house. So this could find that if you have children, you and your children could be partnering up. Surprisingly, you find out that you can work well together and you are able to partner up and work as business partners together. You have an idea where you can bring it together and work it out and start a business and see yourselves being successful. You're able to network with other people. The sun is in the 11th house. You could be able to network and be able to sell your products if you've been working together on a lawn care business, lawn care business. And you are able to network with the people at church, 11th house. You're able to network with them and be able to get some clients, 7th house. Shockingly, surprisingly, you're able to get all of these clients and people want to support you. This is something that could happen. 5th house is also, it is also children. So you could have a child that is getting married, shockingly, seventh house, a child that is shockingly, surprisingly, they eloped, or, he popped the question and now she's getting married and suddenly everything has changed. Or surprisingly, a baby comes into the picture, fifth house. Surprisingly, someone's pregnant. So this could be something that happens here. But it is a very nice surprise that comes in. Okay, so those are some things that could be happening with you, Scorpio. And then we move on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, you will have this moon in your fourth house. The sun will be in your 10th house. So the moon in Pisces in your fourth house is helping you to release something that happens with your mother or mothering, and it is highlighting this area for healing because Uranus is in the 6th house of your daily activities and routines. So there is something that is shocking that is coming in for you with Uranus there in the 6th and making the sextile to the 4th, but it is a nice surprise. It is an illumination. It is a light of as it relates to routines and daily activities, 6th house. And in the 4th house, the moon being there in the sign of Pisces brings in this understanding, brings in a healing. It brings in a healing. It brings in some information about daily routines, about open enemies. It brings an understanding that helps heal the issues that were happening with home, with land. You could be wanting to purchase some land, so every day you've gone through a routine of getting up and checking on this. Every day you look at the property, you want to check and see what the price is, you want to make sure that is what you can afford, and then some shocking information comes in that is very positive. The cost is lower than what you thought it would be, and you were able to purchase the home. A beautiful, shocking surprise like this comes in. So that's just one thing that could happen under this light. And then, so you would have your 10th house, Sagittarius, is highlighted as well. The sun is there. So this is your reputation in the world and your career. Virgo, the sun is there. And so this is highlighting for you perhaps a change, a sudden change, because a beautiful sudden change, perhaps a sudden promotion coming in for you that you didn't realize that you were going to have, because Uranus in your 6th house is making a trine to the sun in your 10th. So all of a sudden the position was opened. You had no idea that they were looking at you to get this managerial position, and boom, you get the position under the light of this Uranus making a trine. This is a great position to have this. So this is a type of change that could happen for you, Sagittarius. And then we move over to Capricorn, and you would have the moon in your 3rd house of your siblings, your community, your neighbors. So with the moon in this place, there could be a beautiful ending that comes for maybe one of your cousins or one of your aunts or uncles. That could be, a change, a healing change that happens for them. And it could be tied to your children because you will have Uranus in the 5th house. It could be a situation where maybe one of your cousins wants to work with one of your children, wants to work in sales or travel, short distance travel with one of your children. And surprisingly, an opportunity is opened up for that to happen with Uranus in the 5th house and the moon in the 3rd house, making the sun in the 9th house. So this is an opportunity that could open up for your, immediate neighbors or cousins to have healing communication. Shockingly so. 5th house, again, has to do with entrepreneurship. It has to do with hobbies. It has to do with desires. It has to do with the things that you want to show. It has to do with falling in love. So this could be an opportunity for you to maybe Capricorn, somebody that you didn't even realize that is in your neighborhood. Somebody that you didn't even realize was looking at you. Somebody that you grew up with, a childhood friend or someone like that. And surprisingly, you find out that they have always wanted to date you. They have always thought you were so beautiful, and they open up communication suddenly about dating. This is Uranus in the 5th, meeting up with the moon in a beautiful sextile in the 3rd house. So communication is surprisingly opened up. There is an end to the quiet, and it brings a healing to you. It brings a healing to your communication. It brings this subtle release for you. Something that you needed on the deepest levels is brought to you with this information. That this person, had a secret crush on you. And then in your 9th house, with the sun being in your 9th house, Capricorn, this could open up for long distance travel. With the same person, you could be traveling together, going on a date, traveling and talking about various cultures. It could be someone from a different culture, who moved into your neighborhood and they want to date you. It could show up in that way. Because there is a trine from Uranus in the 5th to the sun in the 9th. So shockingly, it could be this person living in your neighborhood that is from a different culture, but they want to date you. They want to take you out. They find you amazing. They think that you're really beautiful. Okay, and then we go on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, you will have the moon in your 2nd house. And the 2nd house has to do with your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-values, how you earn income. So with the moon in the sign of Pisces in the 2nd house, there is a beautiful change that is coming to how you earn income. Uranus is in your 4th house. So if you have been, or if you wanted to work from home, Uranus can open up the opportunity for you to work from home. Uranus can open it up for you to be able to perhaps buy some land, buy and sell land, buy and sell houses. We're talking about income from the work that you do. And Uranus could bring a shocking opportunity for you to buy and sell land. Then we have the sun is going to be in your 8th house. So this is resources. This is resources from other people. You could have a surprise check come. You could have some lump sum of money come, perhaps that you've been waiting on and you thought it was going to take longer. But Uranus in the 4th house is making a beautiful trine to the sun in the 8th in the sign of Virgo. So this is opening up an opportunity for you to receive resources from other people. It could be that you inherit a home, surprisingly. So surprises could come in like this. Again, surprise lump sum money. Surprise of even win the lottery, 8th house. Then you're able to take that money and make investments into home, into real estate. Okay, so this could show up in that way for you. And then beautiful Pisces. You have the moon in your sign. So this is your full moon for the year. And so for you, there is an ending that could be happening anywhere in your life. There could be, but it is a beautiful change because you have Uranus in your 3rd house of communications, of siblings and cousins. So shockingly, the way that you communicate, the way that you feel about saying what it is that you need to say could be ending, could be changing, could be healing you as a person. You hear something suddenly from someone in your community, someone, one of your siblings tells you something that is supportive to you, tells you how they always looked up to you. One of your siblings tells you how they miss you, how they need you, how they love you, and you never thought that they would say it. But Uranus in the 3rd, making this sextile to the moon, brings this opportunity for this to be said. And then in your 7th house, the sun is there, making a trine to Uranus in your 3rd. So with your partner, it could open up beautiful conversations. If you have a spouse, if you have someone that you live with in partnership, or if you have a business partner, you could have an opportunity to have the conversation, shockingly enough, that is supportive and that says how you love to work together. You're able to get more creative ideas. You're able to understand each other better because of the light from Uranus in a way that you never thought you would. But Uranus brings this beautiful light and opportunity for you. Okay, so I thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm Lateesha with Soul Spread Wisdom. You can find me on Instagram at Soul Spread Wisdom, Facebook at Soul Spread Wisdom, and I will talk to you soon. And thank you so much for listening. Please, again, like and subscribe and share. Have a good one.